Good day, everyone. I noticed there has been a release of the Evolution Toys Metal Action Tetsujin 28, and there doesn't seem to be anyone doing a review in English, so I'll try my best to explain what is good about this toy and whether it's worth the money. As we all know, this piece costs about 38,000 Japanese yen and is pretty expensive for what it is. The board itself, Tetsujin 28, stands about 32 centimeters tall. Its weight is only 765 grams roughly, so it's pretty light considering the Bandai SOC Chokogen is weighing about a kilo, and you pay much less for it. However, the scout is pretty good. It really reminds you of the Poppy Bandai version. You can see the figure there standing on the hand. It's well painted. Initially, I had doubts about the paint quality in its internal mechanics. I'll go about that shortly. There are good and bad about this toy, and I feel that certain things are not necessary, and you might have noticed that my Tetsujin 28 eyes has been custom yellow, more defined, because I do not like LED lights. And if you check out the YouTube by all the Hong Kong reviewers, the lights of the Tetsujin 28 only last 10 seconds. So that's really hardly even worth doing, putting in batteries in your expensive Tetsujin 28 and to your controller here. While it's a nice gimmick, it's not necessary. As a toy collector, I do not understand why we need all these LED lights, because eventually if you are displaying it, you have to take it out. Even if you are a mini box collector, I mean, come on, you're not actually going to be impressed. Yeah, it's a nice thought, but as an adult collector, it's not really practical, especially if you're just gonna light up the eyes for 10 seconds. You hardly can even take a few photos with it. So I didn't really bother with the LED lights. It comes with the crane to hold his backpack. The one that I was given initially had poor quality tracks, and you can see it was damaged. You can see the track is damaged. It comes with spare tracks, but I reported this to my supplier and they sent me another one. So I have two of these tanks. I sent an email to Evolution Toys to report this, but they never got back to me. It just shows that Evolution Toys is actually questionable in terms of their service, and it's very hard to spend this kind of money and you don't get the service that you expect, and you feel that they are not living up to it, especially. Overall, there is that robot figure as well, and that plane. I'll get to it about the opening of the mechanics of this toy, so you can have a look and see the internal mechanics. So you can see the chest does open out. I don't normally display that part, so I just leave it as it is. You can release the legs. And now here's the problem. You have a gimmick to open the legs, but you can see it's flopping around. It's not staying open. And what I normally do is, if you want to really display half of it, you can have the hands getting involved, making it stay open. But again, it's a bit of a fiddly fit. The hands, you can open up as well. You have to be careful as they can drop off as well quite easily. But when they are fitted, they are quite okay. But when you are in the open mode, it's possible that it might just flop out. So there goes. It's a nice touch. Pretty nice touch. So when you see the hands, they do open everything. It's pretty cool. I thought the paint was poor quality when initially I see pictures on HLJ and things like that. The paint quality was questionable, but you can see it's actually quite sharp. It's not jittery. So the paint job was quite good. But again, you question about the panels, because while it's nice to open them, it doesn't stay open properly. Like, it's a bit flimsy. So like I said, the legs, once I remove it, it just starts flinging in. And there you go, the hand armor just dropped off. And the 28, if you see carefully, is a bit jittery on the top. It's not as sharp 28 as you think it is. So a bit of a quality control in my opinion. Let me try and put this back. And close. And even the waist armor, it doesn't close properly as it should. And the chest piece, if you see this part is juttering out a bit, so it's a bit questionable. So for those who are wondering, what I did for the visor is I removed it and I paste a sticker underneath it, which has a white backing. So that's why its eyes are so much brighter and more highlighted. The backpack was a bit disappointing. It's like the wings do not stay open when you try and feather it out. The fin will just pop down eventually. So I felt that that was really not well made in such ways. If you're actually asking me whether if this is a worth it figure, well, if you're a Tetsujin 28 fan, then I'd say it's worth it. But in terms of the amount of money that you are putting down on this, you would expect slightly higher quality in terms of the product. As is by Evolution Toys again, it's again questionable. I heard horror stories about the Mospida and the Macross toys that it wasn't really that good. I'm not sure about. I was quite reluctant to buy this piece until I saw reviews from the Hong Kong reviewers that it was actually okay enough, and because the colors are quite accurate to the Poppy Bandai one, I felt it was quite worth it in that sense. This is the Bandai version of the SoC, and you can see how tall it is compared. Now, we know there is a Action Toys one which is actually slightly taller than this guy. I think it's about 35 cm. So it will be interesting because it's heavy metal as well. So I'm not sure on the quality build. The only Action Toys that I have is the Tetsujin 17, which was quite impressive. But again, this is a heavy metal from their line, so I'm not sure in the final build of the toy. But once I get it, I'll just compare them side to side to see how they compare. And that one is a lot cheaper, like 10,000 yen cheaper, is like 28,000 yen. So it'll be interesting to see how that compares to this one. What's good about this toy is the articulation of the fingers. I don't think any Tetsujin 28 so far have a good range of articulation in terms of its fingers. The rest of the figure is pretty good. What I like is he can actually close and do a punch easily. The articulation is pretty good. You can see the toy that goes well if you want to so-called pose it in a punching board. Pretty good. As you can see, it's pretty nice. That's it for me for now. I know a lot of people were complaining about the eyes, which if you see the box, is actually quite horrible. Let's see the box, and here we have the box. So the original eyes, they display it quite yellow, but actually it's actually very blind. You will not see the toy as what you see right now in the box. Again, it shows it highlighted, and the other side of the eye is pretty dead. Yeah, so I felt that after putting the decals, the eyes are so much better, and it made me contented with my purchase. Overall, I wouldn't rate this toy 7.5 probably out of 10. I don't think it has the super wow factors because it lacks its weight, and a lot of things could have been better built or better decisions on how they make this toy. I felt the gimmick was not necessary, and as much as it's a nice touch to light up the eyes, but it's not actually worth the effort. Yeah, I purchased the Action Toys version, so maybe in January or February when I have the time, I'll just post a review on the Action Toys one and we can compare and contrast. Hope you like this review. Thank you.